He's whiny.
Yeah, like he sounds like such a bitch. I don't know, man. Like I'm getting very worried about like the state of like, am I gonna have to move somewhere? Because like
probably, honestly, that's always been kind of like on the table for, that was always in like all the old Bitcoin books. Like you're gonna have to move because all the nation states are gonna start being cringe about the internet. And like especially digital currency, which people predicted like in the 90s, and they're like it's a matter of time. So you're gonna start seeing like fucking like what are they called? Like little like rich people, billionaires, like city states are gonna start popping up, kind of like Singapore, but like everywhere. For people,
I don't want to go move to Dubai.
No, it won't have to be Dubai, but there'll be other types of Dubai like places.
Wait, there's more Dubai? What happened?
No,
also, I wasn't here. Like my shit disconnected.
Yeah, we're just gonna assume that that's what happens when you disappear. No, we're talking about how like the government's fucking with crypto and like taking money. It's getting harder and harder to like actually take money on and off exchanges. But they're gonna make little designer cities that like like kind of like El Salvador. I bet you in like 10 years El Salvador has like its own designer Dubai city, but it's not like Dubai, like it's like for crypto people. They're gonna have a million of those like everywhere. Like that. Remember they showed the video of the wall in the middle of the desert in fucking like Saudi Arabia. You're gonna see shit like that everywhere, and it's gonna have like their own rules, and those are gonna be like the crypto friendly places. And then like major countries are gonna be like increasingly like cringe about it.
But like, is it even worth it? Like, if I go to this crypto billionaire refuge city, like, is it even going to be worth it? Because everything is going to cost like, they're not going to have any fucking normal food. They're only going to sell fucking sushi, and it's going to cost $400 a roll. And then if you want, they're not even going to have water. The only way anyone hydrates is through those electrolyte IV setups that they have.
No, I thought the point was to have them in the third world so that the workers would be cheap.
Yeah, they're gonna put in like the third world. I mean, it'll still be expensive because they know they can charge you, but I'm sure it's
Have you been to Macau?
No.
They need to be like a legitimately defensible nation, though, or else they just get like central banking pressured by the rest of the world, right? Like if you try and set this up in like Nambia or something, then the rest of the world governments are just going to say like, we're going to either like exert extreme economic pressure on you or just fucking nuke you, lol, unless you change this. Like it's going to have a very short half-life.
So what I'm thinking, what people are thinking is going to happen is just that like the major countries are going to be dealing with their own shit. Like kind of like how COVID like fucked everyone over, and they're just gonna get too bogged down with like the rapidly changing economy. When you have fucking AI killing half the jobs anyway, if not 80% of the jobs overnight, they're like too busy to deal with shit. And then like those major nation states end up like balkanizing is what the idea theoretically is. Like you don't end up with a United States that covers the whole continent. You end up with like 10 different mini countries.
We're banking
economic zones.
Simultaneously becoming so distracted that they don't realize that all of their GDP is being siphoned out by like weird law-breaking people.
I mean, that's already happening with Singapore. Like all the countries, everyone's moving to Singapore. They're moving to fucking like the businesses and people, whatever. They're moving to Singapore, Seychelles. They've been doing that forever. It's just gonna happen. Like instead of it being like the top 0.1%, is gonna be top 10%. Or not top 10, you know what I mean? Like it's people who weren't displaced by AI, they all leave, and then everyone else is like, fucked.
That's super funny because I have an employment contract in the Seychelles, and as I was signing it, I was thinking like, is this enforceable to any extent? Realistically,
no.
I was sitting there, and it had like a non-compete clause, right? It was like you will not work at X company in X business for the next like year or something like that. And I was sitting there looking like, how would this ever like I don't plan on doing it. It doesn't, but it was just like, if I did, like what would happen? And the answer I think is just nothing.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, well, like if that's true, then like what's the purpose of the rest of this contract? And I was like, it's also like what? And then I just started like laughing, I guess, and I still signed it and whatever. It's like a nice like token of just a thing, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, there's no like enforcing it. There's no fucking like financial court you're gonna take it to. So
Yeah,
it's like, So that's going to be increasingly common. Like my contract with the Euro company I was working with was from the fucking Bahamas, and it also was like, what the fuck is this? What does it matter? This is fake.
Well, this is a nice thing with like working for crypto companies is they can just be like, yeah, we gave you on allocation and it's on like a linear vest over this amount of time. And here's the smart contract and you can verify that it works this way. And
Yes,
like,
yes.
cool.
That is the nice part.
That actually matters to me way more than this piece of paper that I'm signing with agreeing to a contract with an organization in the Seychelles, right? Like this smart contract is substantially more encouraging to me that I'm going to be paid.
And that's also, again, part of what makes this all possible. It's like, now that we have smart contracts, you don't really have to trust them per se. So, assuming you did a little bit of the audit or vetted the code a bit, I mean, or, you work with someone who's trustworthy, but things are going to change dramatically. I mean, there's no, like, for example, like the shift to remote work. I mean, I was writing blogs about that shit and it happened so much faster than I anticipated just because of COVID, right? It just made it like overnight, right? So, you one or two more, it doesn't have to even be COVID. It could just be one or two more like fucking global whatevers. And then it's like, oh, this is what everyone's doing. Everyone's using smart contracts. Everyone's doing this. Everyone's doing that because they have to. The second, when Russia got fucked during the Ukraine shit and everyone like gave them the embargoes and stuff, they happened all over Europe. Like the entirety of Russia started using cryptocurrency. Like really, we had a couple of Russian employees and they're like, oh yeah, everyone just uses crypto now. Cause it's like, what else are we going to do? And it's like so it's like these, enough world events, and it's like, oh, I guess this is just how you get full planetary adoption. And it's like because they have no other choice. All the normal institutional systems fail because they're not designed to be global, and eventually everyone's like, okay, the only global system we have is this one, so we'll use this one.
Dude, it is really weird to like, I'll be talking with my girlfriend about, she'll say that, oh, I was out with my friends and like one of them brought up crypto and like all the girls just started like hissing and shit. And I'm always like, well, I don't really understand. I really don't understand like the normie person's perception of like what they think of crypto other than like it's this shady internet money that like criminals use to like abuse people or something like that. When it's actually like, oh no, this is just like, so you don't have to deal with banks, right? Like that's like because every time I have to fucking deal with a bank in any capacity, right? Like it's like we're going to Tokyo now and we have to deal with like that whole thing, right? How do we get fiat currency from one type to another type? And it's like there's theoretically ways I can go to like a debit and like pay some big fee to like change my thing over to Japan yen.
Well, now cards do it. But yeah, I'd still get your point. So like when I was in Spain, I didn't have to do anything because it just automatically just settled in the correct thing. But it's still like my bank still fucking froze my assets like 4 times.
I mean, I've been told that I in Japan, I'm going to have to actually go and like get the yen, but I might be totally wrong. I don't know. I'm not Japanese.
I think in your bank, well, I don't know what bank you're using, but I know sometimes like when I did, for example, like we just said how much I hate this company, but anyway, Coinbase, their card, you can just do the settlement you can change the country it's settling in, like while you're on the road. So I was able to just go, okay, I'm in this country.
That makes sense because it's Coinbase.
Yeah, they're on top of it. Yeah.
But no. Like I had every instance that I've had, you want to like wire money from one account to another or something. And it's just this thing of calling up these banks and you've got to be within the hours. And like, it's just a pain in the ass. Cause like all the times when I ever need like substantial amounts of money are on the weekend, right? Like if I'm doing some sort of big or like, like let's say I want to go buy a fucking boat, right? And I'm like, I need $35K cash right now. Is any bank open? No. Never, fucking never, ever in a million years. So then it's like, are you still going to be around Monday, bro? And he's like, no. Like, you know, like anytime you hit somebody up about like buying a vehicle or doing any sort of transaction on a weekend, it's like they work jobs, right? So you can't just be like, you know, there's no way that you can drive a state over, like a four-hour drive there and back, so that you can like pick up some vehicle on a weekday.
I'm always just been confused how people used to do it, because banks don't hold money anymore. They haven't held money in decades, right? You can't just fucking, you have to tell them in advance if you want to do like above a certain number. It's like above 50K or something like that. You have to tell them before you even show up.
Yeah, and then half the time you like do any sort of like anytime I would try and register my bank account to like a crypto exchange, they would just like automatically ban it, and I wouldn't be able to like. Wells Fargo was the fucking worst about this, man.
Yeah, they're fucking
automatically like lock my card and shit if I ever tried to connect it to like a crypto exchange, and then they would come in and we would have to go and like I would call them to try and get them to unlock it, and they would be like, well, I'm not authorized to do that. And I'd be like, okay, can you elevate me to someone who's authorized? And then they would elevate me to the next person up, and I'd be like, hey, like I got banned for this. Can you like elevate me to someone who can deal with this or deal with it yourself? And you're like, oh, I can't deal with that, but I can elevate. And so like after like 5 levels, you get to like the CEO of Wells Fargo, and he's finally like, listen, man, I really didn't want to have to do this, but I guess you've got a gun to my head now, and I will allow you to withdraw money from our bank. Right. So it's like, it's just this insanely long, drawn out process to access any. And it's not like I'm not a fucking big Wells Fargo whale, bro. Like this happened to me. This was when I was like 21 years old in college, trying to put like $1,000 into Coinbase to like buy Bitcoin. And they like fucking locked my shit down so hard. And I was like, if you guys are this big of Scrooges over like $1,000, are you even like a legitimate bank? Like, do you even have reserves? How is any of this fucking possible? There's got to be people like, gotta be people moving way more fucking money than me that are just thinking like, how the fuck am I being batted down at this level of financial transaction?
You got to be a JP, yeah. Unless you're not like fucking Goldman or JP Morgan or some shit, like you're not getting any fucking money moved around. That is why those big ass financial, you know, New York City banks exist, or London ass banks, because if you have any money of like note, your shit is like you can't use it.
I literally need like a contact at Wells Fargo to move $500. Like I need like a C-suite executive on speed dial so that I can withdraw $1,000. It's so shitty, man.
But it's crazy. Like if you ever like, you know, like even for like if you start doing like a payroll or some shit, they start to know you by name and shit. Cause like you have to like, if you ever have to give out like real money, you know, above 50K to like even like 3 or 4 employees, it's like, you need to have like a fucking sit down with the general manager of the bank and shit. And they're like, okay, we're going to have a line of credit. Like it's just like a whole fucking spiel. Banks are stupid. We need to get rid of them. Crypto is the only thing that's like, if you've never done a wire, I guess I can understand why you might not understand why crypto is important. But if you have, you're like, okay, fucking, if you want to buy a house or some shit, anything that requires legitimate money, it's like, you realize that the system has been stupid this whole time. I don't understand how it even made it this far. And then you see shit like Silicon Valley Bank, and it's like, yeah, of course that fucking happened. Are you serious?
Well, nobody realizes how bad it is until like my parents still, they have never, if I bring any of the gripes that I have with like the banking system to them, not even like central banking is destroying the world, like those types of gripes, like like they've deflated, it's all fake, it's all like not the sort of like weird schizo like libertarian the concerns. It literally just like, I'm trying to use this bank to move my money from one place to another, and they're making it very inconvenient to me. They'll be like, well, why do you need to move money on weekends anyway? Or like, why can't you just wait till and I'm like why? It's fucking like 2023 and I can't access a bank 24/7. Like, this is fucking insane. I just want my money, dude.
Yeah, well, like that's some boomer shit. Like, why do you want to do anything on the weekend? Why do you want to do anything on the weekend after 3 p.m.? I just don't understand. It's like, why don't you just...
Why do I need some fucking service to go send, like I'm going to send you $100 for dinner, right? And it's going to have a 3% Venmo transaction. Like, what the fuck, dude? This is so dumb.
Yeah, it's fucking over. I'm so shocked we made it this far. This is the thing though. This is the thing that reminds me that, you know, you can kind of get lost in the sauce and think we're kind of super advanced and in a super advanced part of civilization. It's like, I guess we're really not. Like, we can't be that far. And because this shit like could have been solved before the internet, you could have fucking done half of this. Or like before the internet got super popular, when it was just like fucking dial up. I don't like, you would think 24/7 banks would have already been a thing. You know, I don't see why. I mean, I'm sure that Goldman or somebody who's like super important, their banks never stop, but like, I don't know. For insanity.
I'm positive. I'm 100% positive there's a level of wealth you can achieve where all of these banking concerns and inconveniences stop mattering, right? Like, there is no way that fucking Elon Musk is like on a Sunday, he's like, oh, fuck, it looks like my local bank won't give me access. Like, it's gotta work for these guys, but like, it does not work for me, right? I'm sorry for everyone who's listening. You're going to have to understand and accept that I do not have, you know, I am not that kind of a USD whale here. I do not have that much pull in the US economy that I have these bankers on speed dial. And
but one day we will. Don't you worry. We made $10 in YouTube views, so that's just the tip of the iceberg, baby.
You posted a screenshot of us making $4 off of the YouTube stuff a while ago. Is this $10 in addition to that $4, or it's
$6 in addition to those $4?
Okay, so we're much poorer than I had even initially.
But listen, we've only been doing the YouTube ads for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We haven't even finished a full 28-day period yet, so it's actually not bad considering our audience. There's no chance that they're listening to they don't have ad block. So of the people who watch our videos who are not ad block savvy and the people who pay for YouTube memberships, that's who's getting us.
I don't have ad block.
You don't have ad block? Are you serious?
No, I literally watch my own or watch ads on my own podcast.
Oh my God, bro. What is going on? I haven't seen an ad in years, but yeah, I mean, listen, for those of you who don't have ad block, more power to you. I appreciate it. Keep watching those ads. One day our algorithm will boost us and, you know, we'll have actual non-Twitter, YouTube only listeners. But for now, you know, but honestly, it kind of picks up pretty quickly. It seems like it actually, if we had it on the whole time, right? Because like we have like 80,000 views on the channel. And I say like of the 80,000, 50,000 are since this podcast started, 40,000. So if we had them on the whole time, it would have been like, you know, at least, you know, $1,000 at this point. It's like $6. No, I guess it would have been $2,400 because it's like $6
I feel like the hardest part about this is that most of the people who are listening now appear to be not on YouTube.
Yes. Most of our listeners moved to Spotify and Apple. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like, are they moving after listening on YouTube and then they find the other stuff, or is it just that our YouTube audience is dwindling because I keep not reposting it?
Well, that's also it. You don't repost it, so that doesn't help.
I have like an alarm or something like this so that I remember to repost.
But the thing is, with the YouTube audience, if they listen to a few episodes, I mean, there's a few people who are just like dedicated YouTube people. But if they listen to a few episodes, they switch to. I assume that they switch to Spotify and Apple because those platforms don't push you. You have to know where they're.
Do we have anyone verifying that they actually do this, or are we just assuming this and it's like totally wrong?
Well, the people I know who whenever someone's like, "Oh, I listen to your podcast," I ask them where, and they say Apple or Spotify. Usually, I've never heard someone say YouTube, except for the people who leave comments.
Huh. Okay.
So I don't think it's the YouTube people. I think it's our like super fans, like our Patreon people and stuff that watch the YouTube. And then like people who found one episode because we posted it and are like, "Oh, this is interesting. Let's see." Those people. So YouTube ends up working more for like the first time listeners, but the regular listeners are all Spotify and Apple.
But the funnel is YouTube at the top, and then everyone gets collected down in Spotify.
Yes, which is fine because eventually we get revenue from Spotify. I haven't set that up. I did have it set up before, but then my Stripe shit happened, and I never reset it up. But it's like, you know, Spotify, most people pay for a subscription. I don't even think it would even help anyway. But it has hard retention though. So like everyone who listens to Spotify listens to the whole thing, type of thing.
That's kind of cool. I don't know. I have very I'm very not like out in the podcast for the money here, right? Like this is not something that in terms of like the time investment versus like the other things that I'm doing and like the payback, I don't think even at like a very high level, it's going to be quite.
No. Podcasting doesn't give us, if we start making videos, and we probably eventually will, that's where the actual money is, and like making videos and releasing clips and stuff. However, the podcasting is more for exposure, which surprisingly has already paid off. It starts to pay off pretty quickly. You'd be surprised who watches it.
We're building up like a podcast network of like even fuck. How much was the consensus ticket that you got?
$2,500. I just got it for free today.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. You know what I mean? Like you'd be surprised how, and then like podcast stuff, it's got me into events. You know, you'd be surprised who listens, and you're like, oh, I had no idea that people were actually listening to this shit.
The homeless podcaster who's sitting there repeating like, my network is my net worth. My network.
What is true?
I may be broken dollars, but I'm rich in podcast listeners.
Right. No, if you're in a city like New York City or like Austin or like San Francisco, it actually matters. Like you go, like I go to an event of like, you know, the crew from Twitter, or like, you know, or Twitter adjacent events, like a consensus or something. And people will come up to me like, oh, you're Verse. And like, I've had people like in random bars and like random restaurants be like, oh, you're Verse. And I'm like, okay, you would only know that from, because I only show my face on YouTube. So you would only know that from YouTube.
Dude,
That's
you're
kinda
famous.
I know, right? We out here. Not really that famous, but you know, famous enough to get like, a free drink.
This is reaffirming my conclusions about Half, is that he's been logged in this whole time and he just has been like totally disengaged, not listening. And he comes back once every night just to insult us.
What? You're saying I...
See, look, he stopped.
No,
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Hi.
You're back.
Yeah.
I think he just keeps fucking getting booted. I don't know what's happening.
You're famous.
No, listen, fame is very much a relative term. However, I will say
It
I've gotten
is.
free
Just like
shit.
intelligence is.
Yeah, so getting free shit is I have that. That's enough fame for me. You go to a bar and someone buys you a drink, that counts. I'll take
I like
that.
free shit.
Yeah, right. Give me a free T-shirt. Give me a free drink. You let me cut a line or something. Oh yeah, that's all I needed.
That would be so funny, man. Like you have like Elon Musk getting sent to the front of the line, and then like behind him is like Verse Laloon, and like explaining to all the onlookers why. Like, I just like the idea of these like totally disparate levels of clout based on like very, very silly things.
It's always someone so fucking random too. It's like it's just hard. It's never like who you want, but sometimes it's like, oh fuck yeah, I didn't know that you like of you of all people. Okay, sure, let's do it.
Yeah,
Like the CEO of Walmart. He's like, holy shit, is that Verse?
That would be sick. I think that's real. But there's a couple fucking like, you know, Twitter startup people, you know, not like people who started
Twitter startup people.
No, but the people who like are like, you know, Rome Research. You ever remember that one? Everyone was talking about Rome. It was like a notes type of thing. It makes a little web of your ideas. Like that guy was listening, and I was like,
that's awesome.
From the playlist, because it shows you who has your playlist.
Wait. Rome? Like ROAM, that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he was listening to one or two episodes, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, because you know they can show you videos your videos, which playlist your videos are in, and it was his. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, let's do it. So you never fucking know. It's some random. There's a lot of impressions per tweet, right? You never fucking you see like a million impressions. You're like, oh okay, a million impressions.
Maybe this is why you have to get on TikTok and just post like clips of your podcasts on there.
We are working on that. We have someone helping us with the editing. That's actually good. Critical.
I kick myself every day for not just going on TikTok and just like spurting, just saying anything.
You have to, because TikTok's...
Yeah, because I get reposted on TikTok by that guy with the golden hair. Again? I think you dropped out again.
Aw, it's okay.
I
said, yeah, I have been, because I get reposted by the guy with the golden hair.
Yeah, like
that's good.
You really are dropping the ball here. You're leaving clout on the table right now. I thought you were a clout farmer.
I know.
Holy shit! I've never seen this before. It says your internet connection is unstable. It's like a Zoom notification. Yeah.
Zoom's like, yo, get your act together, homie. Zoom's like, I don't know. I don't think you got the sauce, homie.
That's what I'm expecting to see because I have the tornado ravaging my entire county here. I'm sitting here right next to the window. That would be so, like it would be nice at least if my like horrendous tornado induced death was like recorded and we could like play it at my funeral. Like imagine going up and like my dad like somberly like presses the play button.
And then he has to sit through a fucking like 30-second ad.
Exactly this as you just hear like the fucking like a piece of glass like slashing through my corroded artery.
I would absolutely clip it and then also put an ad on it. Sorry, but we got bills to pay.
No, I would want you to profit as much as possible off of my death. Imagine everybody coming in the comments and be like, dude, not cool, man. You shouldn't be profiting off of this. And then you respond with a video clip of me saying like, no, bro, it's fine. I would want you to profit off of my death. Podcasting mishap. You're like, no, dude, it's fine. Listen, he said it's fine. And everyone's like, oh, okay. That's fine, dude.
Hell yeah. No, I just had a dream yesterday. It was like tangentially related. I like how to save my girlfriend's life. She was determined that we cut through like a park at night in New York City and we get attacked by gangsters and I get killed because of her stubbornness. But afterwards, she's like in hysterics and the media's interviewing her. And you know how like when you see like shooting victims, they're like, we want to share Jesus' love and forgiveness and blah, blah, blah. We just want to make sure, you know when families do that? And they're like, trying to egg her to go in that direction. She's like, no, Vers absolutely would want that person to fry. He doesn't want any love or forgiveness. Fucking give him we're absolutely pressing charges, fry his ass. And I was like, well, that's real. You know me very well.
Yeah, no, that's totally real. Yeah. If somebody, it would be purely like a thing out of pettiness, right? Like if somebody were to kill me, it wouldn't even really be like I'm so mad at you, but it would just be like, just like out of fair.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even want them to be dead. I want something like extremely inconvenient. Like I want all cut off and for them to be like deprived of like normal human functionality for the rest of their life, but to like live still.
Yeah.
I want them like a nugget in like a hospital bed. Like, I want to be
a nugget. I like that.
Yeah, for like 60 years, like watching them go through the rest of their life, just like as some sort of nugget person.
Exactly. I need petty revenge. I don't need fucking love and forgiveness. That's not what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm a little bit excited too to go and meet all these people in Tokyo because I think there's like, it's always a weird thing when you have these relationships with people that you've only known like online because like I am very internet native, but a lot of these people in crypto Twitter, like despite being in crypto Twitter, they're not like super internet native and they don't have a great understanding of like what I'm going to be like based on my posting. And it's generally a very good upside return if I get to meet them in person and be like, hey, as opposed to them trying to like interpret me through tweeting, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot liking that goes on when we meet the people in person.
I'm very shocked that everyone wants to meet up in Tokyo. I'm like, what are you guys gonna be like rowdy Americans in Japan? What are you talking about? What's going on? Why Tokyo?
Like the very last minute too. Like and I'm in this big Tokyo plan. And now like all of these fucking like big guys and big accounts are like just pouring into it and everyone's like, oh yeah, let's go. Like I didn't realize how many people were gonna be here.
Well, can they sponsor me?
I wish they probably could. If you like ask them and give them stuck up enough, they'll probably do it.
I'm starting to think though that all of this travel expense probably pays off. Like
I mean, absolutely. If you go to like East Worldwide for sure. I mean, every time I've gone to a trip, it paid me off. In some kind of a opportunity like 6 months down the road, within 6 months.
Exactly. Like, I don't think there's any way like the $2,000 or whatever dollars spent on plane tickets is going to be like not offset by some sort of alpha gained.
Absolutely. I mean, it's at those shows that you make the friend that starts the company that asks you to chill for them or whatever. So, and at those shows, like, at those events.
I'm gonna need a COVID test to get into this country.
I guess or you can use Photoshop. I've been using the same COVID test for like 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. I get tested typically in the airport on the way back, but like not over.
I think it's literally going to be more difficult for me to go and do like Photoshop the thing than it would be to just like drive down to the thing and get the actual test.
Yeah,
you just have a Amelia artist Photoshop it for you for free.
It's not so much that like I guess it's one of those things where like I feel more inconvenienced by like leaving my house than I do by using Photoshop is really the thing. I don't have COVID because I don't go anywhere.
Totally opposite terms as me right now, because ever since I've been I don't know, unemployed, remote work, whatever we want to call this thing that I'm doing here now. Ever since I've been in this state, I have not.
The unemployed state?
Yeah. I've been looking for any excuse to get out of my house possible, right? Like I will use anything as an excuse to go drive like across town or like take the motorcycle out or like,
What's the current excuse?
The current excuse is not happening because I'm indoors podcasting. But as soon as we finish with this, I have some gift card that I need to go spend. I don't know when it is.
And you have to avoid tornadoes, right?
Yeah, I have to. Well, my thing with the tornadoes is I figure like if the tornado is in my county and I'm here or I'm at Fairway, like it doesn't really matter, right? I have the same probability of being hit by the tornado wherever I am. So I might as well be moving around within that probability band.
True. Tornadoes are fun. You can see them in the distance, and they only come out in places that are largely flat anyway. So you have a good lead on them. It's pretty easy to avoid. There's tornadoes here all the fucking time. I didn't realize how I know Texas is part of Tornado Alley, but like I didn't realize it's like a fucking weekly event. They're like constantly happening.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and tornadoes are like, everybody on the coast is like, oh, like hurricanes are really scary and stuff. But like, if you've seen a tornado, it's a little bit different.
Tornadoes are way more intimidating than hurricanes. Like hurricanes are stronger, sure, but they don't because they don't have like the pinpoint vortex of it. It doesn't like destroy shit like the way a tornado does.
Laser, right? Like the laser can actually just start like exploding things and like vaporizing them, right? Like you'll see a tornado go through a place and it's not like, oh, like it like knocked the building down and like threw a car. Oh, it's like, where did it go? Where did all of the shit that used to be there go?
Yeah, it's a laser. Laser is exactly what it is. Tornadoes is definitely worse for sure. Hurricanes are like they usually like get weaker anyway by the time that they get to anywhere that's like legit. Like your power line might go down. Like, ooh, Florida, they lose some shingles and shit. But like, yeah, a tornado is like a laser. They're very, it's very targeted damage, so you're probably be fine. Most of the time it doesn't hit anything, but when it does hit, it's like, oh, fuck.
Well, they like juke people out too. There's tons of these funny videos on YouTube where somebody is like, they're taking a video of the tornado and then suddenly it like takes a turn and it starts moving towards them and they're like, uh-oh. And they like start like trying to run away from it or drive away or something. And the tornado like follows them. Like it like it almost like kill them specifically. And so, this has got to happen at any moment, right? There's a bunch of these people watching the tornado, getting close to observe it, stuff like that. And at any moment, the tornado is going to like change directions or keep going or whatever. And like one of these people is going to get smited.
You ever watch that movie Twister from like 96?
No.
It was like it's like one of those like Universal Studios movies. And it's about tornado tracers. And it was a very good movie. I don't know. You would never see it. It's like it's like not something that you would make ever again because it's too like, it's kind of boomer, right? Because they're like, it's about like a natural disaster, but it's not like world ending. It's not like, like a fucking, like you can't make like a blockbuster out of it, but it was a fairly well selling movie. And as a kid, I used to be like obsessed with it, because like, there's nothing really cooler than a tornado when you're like fucking 5, but
volcanoes are
not volcanoes. Volcanoes is also volcanoes and tornadoes.
I never really understood earthquakes conceptually, like in my mind. You know, like I didn't have a concept for like how can the earth shake so hard that things break, right? Like I always assumed, oh, like it's just like a vibration, right? Like I couldn't really concept. It's the same thing with like explosions actually. Like when I was a kid, you know, you see like cartoon videos of like bombs going off and stuff, and like you have a really bad understanding of like your mental image of an explosion versus like what it's actually like to experience. And then I started fucking around like making a bunch of like fireworks and firecrackers and rockets. And then I learned like, oh no, like it's like it's big. Like,
It's very big. Yeah, it happens like, and it scales exponentially in a way that you don't really expect. I watched this video. It was a similar thing, but if you take like candles and melt them to like a boil, and I think it's like put water in them or some shit, it creates like a fucking like fireball, like a flame pillar. I guess it's kind of like a grease fire, I guess, technically, essentially. So that we did that on a small scale, and that almost fucking became a major issue. And then, of course, you know, your classic blow shit up with M80s, you know, that the good old fashioned American fun.
I was a very dipshit, like I need like 11 to 13 ish during that, like my pyromania phase, I guess. I had like a very South Park teen boy.
I was always afraid of blowing my fingers off, so I kept to the explosives to a minimum. I was more fire than.
Never afraid of that, dude. I was never afraid of that at all, despite the fact that like by all means, I realized like it should have been a possibility.
Well, the thing is, I think my dad picked up on my fascination with the explosives early and would start telling me stories of people like holding M80s in their hand and blowing their fingers off and shit like that. So he was trying to like nerf that quickly.
I had some sort of, you know how I was telling you, like I didn't have a good conception of like what it was. Like even after experiencing it, like I didn't have a good conception of what it was. Like it would happen to me, and then like it'd be like, wow, that was a big shockwave. Wow, that blew shit far away. Wow, that fucked up that tree. And then I would like 2 seconds later be like, I wonder if I do this other thing that's like, if we assume that it's going to have that same amount of explosive force, like what if we do this other thing that's like going to put me in extreme danger, if it'll be cool. And then I would do it, and then like it all worked out fine, but there was never yeah, it was just one of those things where my brain like somehow didn't register the danger. I don't know if it was just being young or something, but it was like this with things, actually. Like I was the same way with drugs. I was the same way with like trusting like untrustworthy. I was just like I had like extreme faith in like God or something. Like, oh yeah, it's just all gonna be fine. Like, who cares? Everything's gonna work out, and it did. Yeah. Maybe I was right.
Well, it did. It did all work out. So that's all. So you were right in all reality. The thing is, to me, like you ever watch those videos of like nukes going off and like they do those nuke tests, and it just feels like it's like you just don't understand the scale. I don't know, like, yeah, you know, those like fucking, you know, that movie Oppenheimer is coming out, and I was watching those videos like a few weeks ago, and just the fucking like it's like blast radius is like miles, and it's like fuck, it's like legit like vaporize everything within a whatever radius, and you know, it's like very anime, but like it's not. I mean, it kind of is because that's how it started, but I don't know. Explosives are very interesting. I'm glad that I was not good at chemistry. That's like my worst subject. So I'm glad that I'm not good at chemistry, because otherwise I would absolutely have fucked myself up.
I don't think you had to be very good at chemistry.
It's a little bit of chemistry.
If you can bake cookies,
we were not encouraging YouTube.
I was like, am I really going to go and we're going to put this on YouTube and we're going to say, oh, if you can bake cookies, you can make a bomb? Like,
well, this is absolutely not getting monetized. It's over. They did specify like certain like, then they have a new guidelines now, and it's like by category, and you can like click which ones your episode is in. And now they have a category for like, you know, weapons and conversations and shit like that. But we've already fucked it up. It's over. I think you can talk about guns, but like in a specific way. But I think bombs are like off limits. But it's like we miss out on 14 cents, so it's not a big deal.
Well, and it's also like, I don't know. I mean, all of this stuff is very much so like, what we can edit the bomb out too. We don't need.
No, that's good content. That's fine.
Wait, what if you like censored it? Like you like made it go like beep.
Oh yeah. Well,
If you can make cookies, you can make.
Actually, I think that would be fine because they look for beeping. They assume it's swear words, and that's okay.
You can be like, I smoke beep all day in my kitchen.
So what's funny in this, you can talk about drugs. They have like a whole category for like funny drug stories, as long as you don't encourage drug use. And then there's like, they have like caveats for like comedic conversations about X, Y, and Z. And usually I just click those and they're like, oh, this is suitable for ads. But once you go, once you're telling like if you're telling like real drug stories, even if it's like serious real drug stories, then it like is limited ads. But you can tell funny drug stories. It's like, I don't understand why, but whatever.
Wait, what's the difference? Like someone talking about shooting someone for like $5 for heroin is like a funny drug story, and then like people being in a cartel is like a not funny drug story.
Yeah, I think it's like if there's a punchline about the drugs, it's like it's okay.
Just arguing with like moderator over whether your punchline was serious because you were dead.
Yeah, like they didn't allow our episode about the those meth stories. They didn't allow that.
Oh, that one would have been awesome.
It was awesome. Even though it was funny and we were telling people not to do it, but like I think there was just too many drug stories and jokes. So
this isn't something that they do on their own.
They have an I think their fucking AI is pretty good at it now. They run like an hour-long like machine learning shit on your video.
Wow.
And then you click beforehand what to look for, and if it's more or whatever, then they like flag it. They like make it limited. Because if you're talking about gun stuff and then you get a gun ad, they're like, fuck it, it's okay. But they'll flag like Clash of Kings or whatever the hell it's called.
That's really weird.
I think it's better though than what they used to do, where it's like they used to just fucking nerf your video into oblivion, and they're like, no one's gonna see this. So I'll take this, because also it's like per video. It's like this one's limited, this one's not. It's like whatever. And surprisingly, they have no issue with swearing. I thought they would, but it's only in the first 7 seconds or in the title. After the first 7 seconds of the video, you can say whatever.
There's no way that they could ban swearing. They would lose
not banning, but for ad revenue.
Yeah, but I'm saying like imagine this is like this is essentially the bread tubers like special sauce, right? It's just I can't fucking believe this. Can you fucking believe idiots are fucking doing, man? This is fucking absurd. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And spamming, and it's like every third word of the sentence.
I think as long as you don't label it for kids, yeah, you can swear all you want. But I think like, when you get to the big channel, it's like, okay, we're trying to keep this kid friendly so that we can get even more ad revenue. Because like if it's for kids, then you get like fucking massive amounts of viewership. But since we've never been for kids, I have no idea what that looks like. So as long as I don't know, it's fine.
So is that why there are so many of these channels that are out here like doing this weird shit, like appealing to kids? Is like,
yes,
they're farming advertiser revenue.
Yeah, it's like a massive boost in how many ads you can show on. Also, like the algorithm thinks because you're kid friendly, it's like blast to everyone. There's no like restrictions. It's not like they pick demographics.
I just assumed that. I don't know. Maybe we should start doing like a children's show.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. We should just we actually kind of, yeah. We should just do like a little neon rabbit like visualizer with like lullabies in the background and get like fucking millions of views as parents put it on for their kids.
Tell everybody that I don't know.
That's
actually,
kind of brilliant, actually. I low-key might just do that.
You should do it on TikTok.
Just for the ad revenue, man. That's sick.
Every sentence is just, you have to get on TikTok, guys. This is what it's turned into. We're just getting
Dude, I love TikTok.
TikTok is crazy. I love TikTok. I'm on TikTok all the time. Don't follow me, though, because it's embarrassing.
Dancing.
I don't watch the girls dancing.
I stare at it all day.
I used to have the girls dancing, but now that I have a girlfriend and I have to make sure that I can pass the TikTok test where you keep scrolling and there's not like girls shaking their ass. So, no, I'm joking.
And then you can DM them. Like if you see them dancing, you can start DMing them by posting in the comments.
Absolutely disgusting.
And then you can start messaging them. You'd be like, hi. do you want to be my friend? Like,
You
that's
should be
the
their
method
friend.
right there. And that's how it starts.
That's how you find love, honestly. It started in the DMs.
You just have to DM them, and that's how you find love online.
To be honest, yes, that is actually how you find love online.
Like, you just have to do it unsolicited.
Shoot
Like,
your
people
shot, man.
meme that it's like going to be creepy, but it's not. It's actually not.
Basically, no. Unless you are a weirdo, but like if you're not a weirdo, you can just DM anything you want. So it's really like this is really a test. She's like testing your eugenic. It's a eugenics test. You could say literally anything you want if you are eugenic. So that's just, if you're not, then it's GG's.
I just ask them for money and they respond. I just go, "Can I have $5?" And they'll usually respond.
That's a good idea. Actually, that's riz.
It's
right
like
there.
a good joke because like usually they don't like. Usually they're the ones who like get offered money from like people, but like when you start like asking them for money, it's like it throws them off.
That's riz. I like that.
That's the method. I guess that's my method.
I think
Begging
that
for
would
money.
work. I genuinely think that would work. I don't know if
It
you're doing
does.
it. That absolutely
It literally
seems like
does.
it would work. Yeah. I love that.
It's good.
That's funny. Yeah, I hope listeners, please try that and get back to us. Leave in the comments if it worked. If you found love, thanks to the
Just
Rose and
start
Lucas
begging
show.
women for money.
You just do it and then get that Venmo, or like use their Venmo and their Cash App and make a Cash App request, because they're just used to like clicking yes. That's the real grift. Go to those like OnlyFans chicks and make a request with who have the Cash App in the bio. They're so used to just getting, they're not even looking at it. I've never tried it before, but it seems like it should work. It has to be a high volume person, though. It can't be like, your random scrub on Twitter, because they're going to notice. But someone with like, 100,000 followers, some OnlyFans chick with a Cash App in bio, I bet you can ask her for. It's kind of like if you like sent a contract or some shit to a major company, like before FTX like went under, if you had sent them like what are those things called when you like write a little itinerary invoice. You send an invoice to like a company like FTX. It's like just saying yes because they're swimming in cash. Boom. It's like that, but for showing your butthole.
Wait, what did you say?
I'm dropping real alpha. You guys aren't even here. No, so when you like have major companies, right?
Yeah.
And if they are swimming in cash, like a Facebook used to be, or like FTX before it fell apart, you can send them invoices for shit. And because they're just like assuming that they paid the money for it, they'll like often like sign off on it and they'll send you money, right? So there's a million scams from Facebook where people will just like do $1,000, $10,000 invoices, and they'd be like, sure, and for fake services, right? So the same concept, but to these OnlyFans chicks on Twitter and TikTok who have their Cash App in bio, just hit them with a request. They're not even reading. They get requests all day. They get payments all day. They're just pressing yes. They're gonna miss the request. Boom, you're in there.
I think I've seen something like that before. That was like trending a few years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, see, listen, the alpha deteriorates fast. That's it's hard to keep up these days. The grift, the wheel of grifting keeps spinning, like the cycles of samsara.
It has to evolve.
I wish I was a better mind at the grift. I wish I had like the fucking like machinations running all day. Unfortunately, my brain unfortunately keeps picking legitimate things to do.
When he gets older, he won't sound like this anymore, right?